You know, I gotta be honest, I love this game. It's for the PlayStation 2. It's an upgrade from the PSP Twisted Metal Head-On game that came out with the launch of the PSP. So it's a game that's been around for a long time, but they basically retooled it, up-resed it, made it suitable for television screens, but that's not why I like this game.
Why do you like this game?
I like all the extra content. I like all the, you know why I love this game? It's the really lousy Twisted Metal 1 movies that David Jaffe wrote and directed.
That is the selling point.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard about this yet, so they made these live action sequences for the original Twisted Metal game.
Yeah.
And they never included it. I can't believe they're not all up on YouTube yet.
Oh, they're incredible.
Really good.
But what's funny is that the video quality is so horrendously awful. You can see like distortion lines all the way through it as you're watching these old things. It's like they've been tapes that have just been thrown on some dustbin somewhere, and they had to like dust them off and stick them onto the game disc.
These are not fit for public consumption, which is exactly why they're so awesome to be here. Yeah.
And there's lots of cool behind-the-scenes video, kind of like a history telling you, you know, about the series creation. So it's fun to watch all that stuff. There's also this sort of never seen before Sweet Tooth action game where it's not really a game.
No,
you're running around as Sweet Tooth, and you're unlocking extra content like art and factoids and stuff like that, but it's interesting because you're playing through this level as Sweet Tooth, and you find these flaming skull heads and they give you information.
Well, I guess that came
from
a game that was initially developed. It was never completed, this sort of action
it was supposed to be the
sequences.
sequel to Twisted Metal Black.
Right.
They were going to do this as part of the gameplay.
Right, and there's really no gameplay to that whole section. You're just sort of running around as this fat clown, picking up little flaming things and learning information. It's kind of a clever way to deliver content.
I thought it was
it's not really
cool.
a game.
I wish more sort of behind the scenes and extra content in games was kind of like that, where you actually got a slightly playable element to it. I thought that was pretty clever. And the other cool addition is that you actually get the lost levels from Twisted Metal Black, so you get some new content, a little bit of a story in there. You know, you get to go back into the Twisted Metal Black universe, which was one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. I thought that was a really cool title.
Yeah.
And then the Twisted Metal Head-On game is actually pretty tight. It's a little bit more cel-shaded and a little bit more cartoony in the look. It's not as dark and twisted as Twisted Metal Black, but because it's a little bit different, it gives you a nice, you know, swath of flavors in the Twisted Metal universe, and it's fun stuff. And they have, you know, some multiplayer component, no online, but pretty solid.
I think the head-on content is good, and it was great on the PSP.
Yeah.
And I think this does suffer from the translation up to the PS2.
It controls better though.
It controls better, but it definitely looks like a PSP game.
Sure,
I mean, it's very simple in its art, its polygons.
Yeah.
It's not a good-looking game, and I even thought that the lost levels, which come from the Twisted Metal Black engine, which is a fancier engine than the one they used for Head-On, I even think those levels looked a little plain because they obviously weren't really
they didn't finish them.
Yeah, they weren't fit to be put in the original game, so they weren't completed.
Yeah.
But when you combine all that information together, when you take Twisted Metal Head-On, Twisted Metal Black lost levels, all this extra content, the DVD stuff,
and then you throw in $20 price point. Don't forget that.
Well, that's really where this all comes together, right? I mean, $20. How could you not? Even if you didn't care about Head-On, even if you didn't care about lost levels, even if you didn't want to run around as a fat clown and learn all these little behind-the-scenes tidbits, those videos are absolutely worth $20.
Big time. What are you gonna give Twisted Metal Head-On
Extremely Twisted
Edition? What are you gonna give this game?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
8.5.
Whoa.